Hey there, welcome to Pop Culture Cupid.
I'm Alison, love coach, here to help you single people find your way back to love.
And I'm Michal, I'm a single life coach. I help singles embrace themselves and their singleness, as well as develop a healthy self-relationship.
In this podcast, we will look at how pop culture impacts romance, dating, and your love life.
And each week we'll shoot another arrow through another pop culture delusion.
I thought we weren't going to do the whole cheesy thing.
And then burst into smithereens.
Oh my god, dude, that's so cringe!
Sorry, it's in the intro now.
If you make it through the chaos and you enjoy what you hear, please leave a comment, like, subscribe, and go to all the social media.
At Pop Culture Cupid on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Enjoy!
Hi, so today we are welcoming Meagan, who's the founder of the Single Girl Club. Welcome. Is Michelle, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm sorry. It's just my
Oh, now you're frozen.
AirPods are not connecting. Of course. Okay. Okay.
Technology.
Hold on.
It always happens.
Yeah, we love tech. Oh, here we go. I'm sorry. I'm having such a chaotic day. And it's well, maybe also I'm not used to recording at this time at night. So
yeah, we usually do it in the morning.
Oh, okay.
We usually do it in the morning. But we're good. We're in like this, evening cozy crazy phase of the day. So
exactly.
I get it. You want your day to end and I'm starting my day. So we're like different. Our wavelengths are a little bit different. I get it.
Yeah. It will be interesting to see where they connect.
Yes.
Like one is in the pajamas getting out of bed, the other is in the pajamas going to bed.
Exactly. Well, Meagan, how are you? Welcome.
I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm very honored. I'm so excited for today's conversation.
Yeah.
So are we?
Yeah, very excited. You're our first guest.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God. I am so honored.
Yes. Well, as you should be.
Exactly.
I am so honored. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Incredible. Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming and joining us.
Of course.
Yeah.
Anytime.
It's so hopefully people know who we are by now, Michelle and I.
Well,
got hope. I mean, you never know.
Well, I'm joking.
So
maybe they tuned in just for Meagan. Who knows?
Maybe they tuned in just for Meagan. Okay, so let's do a little bit of
blame them. So yeah, sorry.
Oh, but we've got the jingle. We've got our intro, so we're not going to introduce ourselves because we've got the intro bit.
True.
So Meagan,
yes.
Oh, you introduce yourself.
Yes. So my name is Meagan. I am the creator and founder of Single Girl Club. So it's an online lifestyle media brand platform that really advocates for the empowerment of single women. And we do that by teaching single women the importance of self-love, because I truly believe that in order to have healthier relationships with other people, you have to have a healthier relationship with yourself first. Mm-hmm. And we have blogs and articles that really teach women how to cultivate that self-love. So whether it's working on how to communicate your needs, or how to develop healthier coping mechanisms, or even how to get your finances in order and work on your discipline, those are the areas of self-love that we're really focusing on. And we also do in-person events, which is a lot of fun. We get to meet the people in our community, and one day I would love it to be global, but right now we're just stuck in LA. So yeah, that's a little bit about Single Girl Club.
Stuck in LA.
I've been stuck in LA.
We're stuck in LA.
I wish I was stuck in LA right now. But,
honestly, it's a good place to be stuck. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, I've known you for a while. We've had lives before on Instagram, and I've followed your content, and I think it's such an important. I mean, I wish more people would advocate for single people and put it out there.
Yeah.
That because what happens is most people just avoid it. They make more mistakes that way, and then they just end up in the wrong relationships.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I always say that if you don't work on your self relationship, then every other relationship in your life is going to suck. And I think it's the most important thing to do is, and I had a thought like the other day, I don't know how if it's like just cliche or if it's actually really cool, but like self-love is like our doing our marketing. It's like, because when we love ourselves, I feel like we just, not only do we radiate it out towards the world, but we also value ourselves more. We refuse to let certain people into our life, and it's a showcase for others on how to love us properly and how we're not willing to be loved.
I totally agree. I think that a lot of us aren't doing the necessary work that we need to get to know who we are, right? I think society tells us who we should be, how we're supposed to look, how we're supposed to act. And I think during our single season, it's a really perfect time for us to kind of like self-reflect and learn what we like and who we are and what we want out of this life, instead of having to constantly listen and, you know, be obedient to what society tells us to do. I think, yeah, it's the perfect time for you to figure out who you are, give yourself love, and then magnetize the love that you truly want and you truly desire.
That's yay. I mean, the people watching the video format, we're all very excited. I think that is so on point, because you girls concentrate on the single people. I concentrate on like this next step of getting back to like in a relationship. But the first part of the way of how I help people is exactly that, of just, we need to, you know, like make it okay that you're single, because people will gravitate to you feeling okay. They won't gravitate, the good people will gravitate to you feeling okay, and the bad people will gravitate to you feeling bad. But something you said reminded me of a post I saw on your page of like, if you have low self-esteem, and if your bar is low enough, like who's going to want to jump over that bar? And I thought that was amazing. So if you just want to kind of build on that, I thought that was an amazing way of putting it.
Yeah, I think I had stitched something on TikTok and then I put it on Instagram. But
I was watching that yesterday too.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. No, but I think essentially what it said is that, you know, men or people in general, they're not going to want to go above and beyond for you if your level is literally in hell, right? If the bar is in hell, why would I go above and beyond? And I think what happens is that when we do have a low self-esteem and like a low sense of self-worth, we will really allow anyone in our lives just for the sake of being in a relationship, because the fact that we're in a relationship makes us feel better or makes us feel more valued or more worthy. But the truth is that we are worthy without those things. And I think it's important for us to really fill up our cup and learn who we are and build up our self-worth and our self-value. Because when we do that, we'll no longer allow people in our lives that are giving us bare minimum. Like we'll no longer allow people in our lives that are not, you know, giving us the reciprocity we need, or that is not, you know, pouring into us as equally as we're pouring into them. So I think it's really important that we do take the time to, you know, build up ourselves and build up our confidence and surround ourselves around people that truly love us and want to be in genuine and authentic relationships with us.
I have as a dating coach, I have a question for you single life coaches. I was talking to somebody who's in a relationship and who's kind of like struggling because she's got depression, so it's slightly different, but we were talking about that analogy of cups. And my way of thinking is that your cup does not need to be completely full, but it needs to be a certain amount before you start thinking about sharing, you know, what's in your cup with other people. So I know what I think about how full your cup should be before you should start spreading it around. What do you guys think? And then I'll give my answer.
I think that my cup needs to be full.
Okay.
That's how I see. I feel like when my cup is full and when it's overflowing, it's easier for me to like share with other people, if that makes sense. Like when I'm in this season of like overflow and abundance, I'm just so much more like gracious or giving and generous to others. So I see it as my cup has to be full in order for me to give and to be present in others' lives.
Okay, Michelle.
Well, there is that cliche of, you can't, what is it? You can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah.
If there's nothing in you to give, then you're either giving nothing or you're not giving anything valuable. And you're also not really attracting anyone you have nothing to offer them.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like when you fill up your own cup and you not only have much more to give, you're attracting better people. You're showing people what you have to offer, which takes me back to what I said about your marketing yourself, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Because I believe that actions speak louder than words. And when you just do the things that you believe in and work on yourself and follow the path that's right for you, then everything else sort of falls into place around it. And when you work on filling your own cup first, you get to know yourself better. You know what is good for you, what isn't good for you, what not to put in your cup, and what to take out, and what you want more of, what you want less of. And you're so in tune with yourself that it's much easier to find the right people for you. And when you leave even that smallest of space, like on the one hand, I want to say, yes, you also need to receive from other people. But when you leave too much space for other people to give you, you sort of lose a part of yourself. And back to what Megan was saying before, and about self-worth, when it's so low, we lose our identity in other people, in relationships, and we lose sight of who we are. And so we have to find, again, that right balance for us. And I think in every relationship, it's always a give and take, and it's never 50-50. So you have to find with every person the right balance. Because sometimes, yes, even when you are sure of yourself, even when you do love yourself, you also have days when your glass is emptying and not filling up. And it's okay to sometimes also depend on others. But when the majority of the time your cup is full, then you're less dependent on others in general, if that makes sense. I hope I managed to get that out of one straight line.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, your cup, like, what you're saying is kind of like also what I'm about to say is like, you need to think about your cup, like your cup needs to be your priority, but it's okay to let other people kind of go in and out. And I don't think you're disagreeing with that, Megan, but I think that Megan, your priority is to fill your own cup so that you are like abundant in love to give, and then you give it away. I was kind of because this conversation, I would be agreeing with that until this conversation that I had, where I realized that certain people kind of fill their own cup by filling others' cups. Like, it's the weird thing that happens where by giving they kind of give themselves. But I said, like, that can't be. Like, your cup needs to be half full at all times, and then you can start like, once it's more than half full, like, then you can kind of maybe think about kind of giving it elsewhere. But yeah, you need to make you say that. But I think it's different people as well. I think maybe, Megan, your cup gets filled up like easily because you've got it, you know how to get it, you know how to go there, and so you kind of get into a good rhythm, and you've come back from yoga, you're wearing pink, you're full of energy. I can feel that from you, that you're kind of you fill your cup up quite fast, so it's easy for you to get there. I think that there are other people that kind of don't fill it up as fast, and I mean, it's fine. And this conversation is kind of to steer to how to figure out to fill your cup. I think there are some people that maybe they also need a bit more from others, and I think it's just, you need to be in tune with that, and especially as a single person, because you don't want to be filling your cup with poison.
And I think it's important, especially as a single person, that we are filling our cup, because I think what happens is that because we're single and we don't have children, people assume that we have all the time in the world and all of the energy to give. And that's not necessarily true, because there's other things that I'm doing, like just work in general, or, other relationships that I'm trying to maintain. So I do think that it's important that as single people, we do find out or learn the things that fill up our cup so that we can, be present for the relationships that matter most.
I think it also comes in stages. It's like you start with yourself and you focus on your own cup, and then you slowly are more able to distribute from yourself and also to receive in a way that you're not, getting over reliant on anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a matter, and again, what you said is true. I think in your singlehood is the best time to do that. Of course, if you're already in a relationship, it's rather, in a relationship than never. But I think that's something that people don't understand, is that singlehood isn't a waiting room for a relationship. It shouldn't just be that. It's also a matter of taking advantage of this time to figure yourself out, to find out what fills your cup best, and then you also find the right person for you, not only in a better manner, in a better way, but I also think it comes faster in that way, because you sort of, and I also actually wanted to point out a post of yours, Meagan, that you wrote, because it sort of relates to what I'm saying. You put up a quote that says, the longer you entertain what's not for you, the longer you postpone what is. And I think that's spot on. Short, simple, and to the point. When we're not taking advantage of singlehood and learning who we are and just going on date after day after day, willing to go out with anyone we possibly can just to find someone, we become blinded to the right people, and we're sort of just going on whatever we can get. And and even if it's not with dating, even if it's filling our time up with things that aren't for us, or friends and people in our life that we're just wasting our time on them, when when we can work on ourselves and then find the right people for us.
True.
Yeah.
So true.
I mean, I would add to what you guys are saying, is that if you take the time, the fucks you give, you have so many fucks to give every day. And if you're single and without children, but for women and men who are in a relationship and no, single but with children, you have, if you're single, you have, even more fucks to give if you're on your own. Whereas if you're in a relationship, you'll just give some to your partner, which is normal and fine, and we won't talk about it, but that's normal. But if you kind of, give all of that attention to yourself while you're single, the self-discovery is going to be so much faster than if you're in a relationship. So, I mean, that's why you want to celebrate being single and taking that time for yourself, of just, you've got that so much more energy to put into yourself, that, if there are people who are in relationships thinking, oh, maybe I need to break up and things like that, that's not what we're saying. You can still do it. It will just take more time. And so, I think that's just, some of my female friends, actually, now that I'm thinking, whatever, a lot of them, they say, I enjoy being single. And I tell this to my partners when we are fighting, and it's not a threat. It's I'm with you, even though I enjoy being single. So that means, you don't have to worry, because I'm with you by choice and by love, not by necessity. And I think that's such an amazing thing to bring to the table. I enjoy being single. I choose to be with you. So, the person in front of you, and so we're, probably listening to mostly women, because we're talking about Single Girls Club, tell the man that you're dating, I like being single. So you're going to have to, bring it to
Amen.
To be better.
Have you read The Subtle Art of Not Giving? Sorry, as you reminded me of the book, I wanted to ask if either of you read
Subtle Art.
Subtle Art. Sorry, I'm just
Mark Ronson.
Say that 5 times fast.
Subtle Art. Sorry, The Subtle Art of I don't know why I got stuck on that B. How embarrassing. Cut that out, please. The subtle art. Oh my God.
Of not giving a fuck.
Thank you.
Yes,
I have read it. It's good. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is really good, and exactly. The fucks that you have to give, don't give them to just anything.
Yeah.
You have to be discerning on what you're going to give your energy to and
Yeah.
how much of it, you know,
Yeah.
you want to give to certain things. And it just makes you, I feel like life becomes easier and less stressful when you determine what things really deserve your energy.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it also
And
make it okay to change your mind.
Yeah.
You know,
Because
it's
we're constantly like learning and growing. And when we have new information coming in, it's okay for us to kind of change our perspective or look at things in a different way. I feel like a lot of people don't do that. They're so set in their ways. But sometimes when new information comes in, it's important for us to be like, oh, okay, well, maybe that changes my
exactly.
perspective a little bit. And that's fine. We're humans. We're constantly changing.
Not only is
yeah.
it fine, I think it's beautiful to kind of grow and just, you know, so I'm 32 and I often think back to my 20s and like late teens, and I think of it, you know, it wasn't so long ago, but actually it was a long, you know, over 10 years ago, and I'm just, you know, such a different person. And I think what's also important to add is to just, when you're single, so like newly single or have been single for a while, it's important to just like honor who you are now, even though things have changed, and not go back to past versions of yourself who were, you know, I don't know, better looking in a relationship, I innocent, I don't know, you know, it's now you're a grown, you know, you've grown into something new, and all of these versions are you, and I think that's amazing.
Completely agree. Yep.
Yeah. I actually wanted to add to what you were saying beforehand as well. Is what was it about, you know, your friend who said in a relationship that she was like, you know, I'm happy to be single, so I'm not gonna, so I'm fine to be on my own, and I'm with you because I choose to be. And I feel that the same, and I think we've spoken about this before probably, but I feel the same way in my relationship right now. And my boyfriend, I even talk about it a lot. And we have both done a lot of work on ourselves. And we've both taken the time to be comfortable on our own, to create a fulfilling life for ourselves that doesn't revolve around one relationship. And so not only do we maintain our own alone time in the relationship, we also respect each other more, and we give each other the space, and we are able to create something new together without losing our identity. And yes, it has a lot to do with us working on it a lot, and being and having open communication. But I think it's mostly thanks to the fact that we took time to be on our own, and we took time to work on ourselves, and we didn't just jump into any relationship that, well, we did at first maybe, but like, you know, we took the time to be by ourselves and not. Yeah.
I think that's so healthy. And that's so beautiful. Like, because
Yeah.
I think it's important that, you know, when people start, single people, when we do get into relationships, that we maintain our sense of identity, right? That we don't
Yeah.
become too enmeshed in another person and then we completely lose who we are and just start moving accordingly to how that other person moves. I think it's important for us to keep our, you know, our own friendships. And I think it's important for us to keep hobbies and our goals and, you know, maintain those things. And because that's what I think a healthy relationship is. I think it's two healthy individuals that are great on their own, but then when they come together, they're even powerful. They're powerful too. So I think that's so healthy. And
It is.
I love that for
It's
you.
the healthiest relationship that I've ever had. And I think, you know, we're also not afraid to be on our own. And it's
Yeah.
important to not, again, when you lose yourself in a person, when you're too dependent on that relationship, so no matter how toxic it is, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to stay in that relationship because you're too scared to be on your own, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
huge part of your identity. And then even if you do leave that relationship, you're just going to straight away jump into another and lose yourself even more.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, when you have a healthy relationship with yourself, you're at a better vantage point and a healthier mind space and mindset to start healthy, not only a healthy romantic relationship, but also healthier relationships with others. and you sort of bring with you not only the lessons that you've learned, but the mindsets that you've adopted in your singlehood, like the drama-free space, the the non-stressful zones. And it's like, I'm not going to stress over every small thing. I'm not going to create a drama out of everything. And then it makes space for so many more wonderful things that you can focus on. And like, oh my God, who knew that a relationship could be this way?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's beautiful. And I know that there's like a lot of healing too that goes on in relationships as well.
Yeah.
Because I feel like relationships mirror us. So they kind of like help us see the blind spots that we didn't necessarily see when we were in our single or our alone time or single season. And so I think it's really beautiful that relationships are really supposed to help you grow and help you like evolve. And I think that's beautiful that that you have that.
Yeah.
I love what you said, single season. It kind of it says two things. It says that it's completely normal because seasons change, and it kind of suggests that there's gonna be a natural end to that season as well. And so in the sense that you don't want to force it, it's just natural cycle of moving along. And I feel free to just like say whether or not you're in a relationship, things like that. But it's just like, what do you feel of just, is being a relationship something that is important? Like, is building your singlehood important to get into a healthy relationship, or is being single forever is just it doesn't matter? Like, what does that like thought provoke you?
I think it could be different for everyone. So for me, I think that it was really important for me to kind of spend time in my single season and really learn about, ways that I contributed to a toxic relationship cycle. So, and I've worked on those things. Like I've worked on like communication, I've worked on expressing my needs, and I've worked on, building hobbies and doing things that I love. And then I think that those things that I've worked on, those tools and those resources that I've kind of like, accumulated over time will help me have a healthier relationship with someone else. I do believe that there's still a lot of like healing and growth that I need. And I think that relationship will help me with it. But I think that cultivating those tools in my single season will, help me navigate and build a healthier relationship with someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also think it really depends. And like, I remember telling myself at one point in my singlehood is that this is your status quo. No amount of wallowing or crying over it is going to change that. Jumping into the wrong relationship is not a good solution, and it's not going to make you happy. So at some point in your life, you have to go, okay, this is my status. There's not much I can, I can go out, I can date, I can continue looking for someone. But until I find someone, I have to do something with myself. I don't know if and when I'll find someone. So, why waste this time? Why just, see it as a punishment? Why, drown yourself in that sorrow and feel sorry for yourself instead of just taking advantage of it? So, some people are just single because they're single, and, that's their status, and they haven't found someone yet, and that's okay. And some people are purposely single because that's what's good for them and they enjoy it. I knew that, I got to the point where I was like, you know what, if I'm going to be single forever, I'll be fine. I'll be happy. I have a full life. I have a lot of things I can focus on, and I'm fine. But I knew that I wanted to find someone, and that's okay too. I just knew that I didn't want that relationship to be my whole world. And so for each their own, and it's, again, finding the balance. I love that word. It's like the thing in life that you need to strive for is to find that balance and not fight against something that you have no control over. So if you find yourself single and no amount of chasing your own tail is working, then it means you need to sort of recalculate your route and learn how to live with it. Because ask yourself, what if I was single forever? What will I do? I know it's very scary, but what if it happens? What are you going to do? Are you going to just cry over it your whole life? Are you just going to waste your life way over it. So again, you have to find the ways to fill your life up. And I'm a huge believer that when you do that, and because it happened to me, when you do that, when you focus on that and create an amazing life for yourself without a partner, that's when they have a tendency to fall out of the sky suddenly.
They're like, boom, just there.
Bam.
Yeah, just there.
Here I am. You're like, oh, cool. Hi. Yeah,
Bam.
you should be living your life the way that
Yeah.
you should put your life on hold or on pause just because you're single. Still do the things that you want to do. Like I've always wanted, I went to Paris and I did want to go with a partner, but I ended up going with one of my good friends. I still experienced it. I still had a great time. I saw Beyonce. So it was like, I'm not gonna not have those experiences just because I don't have a partner. I just feel like that is a waste of my time and a waste of my life. And I hate wasting my time. And I'm just like, I deserve to have a fruitful and amazing life. And then when my partner comes along, we can share this life together. So it's
Absolutely.
I'm gonna put my life on hold. I still want to do fun things. So I'm gonna do them.
I mean,
Because you lose out if not. Sorry, go on.
Well, I mean, you lose out if not. I can, yes, and it's just, you know, the self-development books and podcasts and everything, they all say you need to feel like you're living success so that success comes to you. And I think, you know, you can put that to being single. You know, think, if you're single, think about how you want to feel in a relationship. And so you want to travel to Paris, you want to go out to nice restaurants, you want to, you know, do these things, and I'm like, how does that feel? How do you want to feel? And just go ahead and feel those things. Go to Paris, go to the nice restaurant, etc. And so, you know, and you know, and so when the good relationship is going to bam happen, you know, it's not out of nowhere. It's because you will have kind of generated that own type of, you know, way of feeling, and then it is the only logical consequence. And so it's kind of the catch-22 when people say it will happen when you least expect it. I agree and disagree. It's just, you know, well, it's not that you're not expecting it, is that you're allowing for it to happen because you're going to feel these things. And that's the way of just doing it. You know, live what you want to do. You know, you want to travel, you want to do all these things, just do it.
Yeah.
Yep. Live life.
I've spoken about this in one of the episodes, but I have my theory about, you know, it will happen when you least expect it, where just briefly, I think it just, what it means is not that really, oh, I'm not expecting, because we're always in the back of our minds, we're always thinking about it, we always want it, but it's more of like when we least expect it is in a point in our life where we're so enveloped in everything going on in our life because things are so great and amazing, there's so much that it's sort of, you know, it's not on the top of your priority list anymore, and you're not letting it stop you, and you are living your life. And of course, you know, I was exaggerating, it's not, you know, falling out of the sky, but you know, sometimes it's just a matter of just living your life and finding a way to continue doing the things that you want to do without a partner, while still even being active and trying to find one in the different ways that are right for you. But so I'm putting it out there in the universe.
Yes, I'm putting my desires now.
Exactly. It's putting it out there. It's just, I had this one client that I was talking to him about his friendship group, and I was kind of like, we need to start with your friendship group, because I don't want to criticize your friends, but you know, your friends are not, that they're not there for you. They're not contributing to your best life. They're not doing anything for you and things like that. And so being single, you want to also, you know, rethink your friend circle and just do all of this. And you know, you want to have the good relationship, you want to have the good friendships, and as you did, Meagan, of going traveling with your friend.
I think having a strong like group of friends is super important, because you know, I really think that really helps you with building authentic relationships, and you need to have people in your corner that are going to hold you accountable and that are going to, you know, be the light in when you're in a dark space. And I think your friendships are super, super powerful. And, you know, I don't feel like we talk enough about that, but yeah, friendships are powerful.
Yeah, and we tend to lose touch with friends when we're in relationships.
That's
And I feel
sad.
like yeah, and I feel like when you're single, you have so much time to invest in your friendships or your family members even. And then when you have that strong bond, when you take the time to do that, then again, you're less likely to lose that when you're in a relationship. Yes, you'll need to make some sacrifices and give up some of the time for your relationship, because that's life. But you know, you're less likely to just give everything up to just be with your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whatever it is, because that's what we usually do when we don't have a strong relationship with ourselves, with the people around us. And I think, again, singlehood is the best time to do also some decluttering and cleansing, whether it's like, you know, obviously also the habits and things that we have in our life, but also with the people in our life, and who we're wasting our time with, who we're just chasing and isn't giving us anything in return. And just make space for better people. Again, it goes back to what we said in the beginning, like when you're spending too much of your time on all the wrong people, then you don't have time for the right ones. And so yeah, this is the time to start reevaluating your life, the people in it, what you're doing with your time, and it's finding the things that really make you feel good and really help you extract the best that you have in you.
So true. Snap, snap, snap.
So true. So true. It's and being single, you know, you want to allow yourself a certain amount of time, you know, before you go into a relationship, but it's just then time just warps, and it's just, it doesn't really, as soon as you're single, you're allowed to grieve your relationship, you know, take the time. But then, you know, you want to see it as a gift of just, you know, this is the opportunity to do this and do that, and go dating again. And you know, I have a few single friends and they're on Tinder and things like that, and I'm like, kind of miss that, you know. And I'm not,
do you though?
well, kind of in the sense
Tinder.
that you, that, not, I mean, not the dating thing,
no,
but
I get what you mean.
Some things about, you know, just meeting somebody and that conversation and things like that. It's just, you know, I like hearing about it. I'm excited for them to hear it. I do not want to, I do not want to go through the whole process again. But there are some things where I'm kind of, it's kind of fun of just, you know, not caring what the other person thinks, you know. Because right now I'm in a loving relationship, but a lot of what I do, I kind of, you know, have him in mind of just, you know, I need to mind his feelings, which is fine. But when you're single,
annoying.
you don't have to do that anymore, you know.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
You know what I hate? That feeling of missing them. I'm like, why? What a useless feeling. You're like,
or the feeling
why
of
do I need
having
to spend
a crush?
time and emotion? Sorry?
Yeah. Or the feeling of having a crush?
Oh, that too. Oh, that's even worse. Because with a crush, you don't ever know if they want you back, if they don't want you. I mean, it's fun and it's giddy, but then it's really annoying. But when you miss someone, you know they love you, you miss them, they miss you too, but you can't do anything about it at the moment. So it's just there. Sorry, I'm digressing.
I mean, I think it's just all this to say that being single, I think it is a gift. I think, you know, there are some exceptions, but, and we won't go through, you know, the horrible things, but
yeah,
a lot of what happens to you is a gift. You know, it's the opportunity to grow. So, you know, just as being in a relationship is a gift, being single is a gift for everything that we just said. You know, traveling, losing a job is a gift because it's the opportunity to go and see something else. You know, all of these things that are gifts. You know, if it's not impacting your health, your physical health, then it's a gift. And you want to make sure that you perceive what happens to you as something, as the opportunity to grow, and that's an amazing gift. And not, you know, and you know, we live in a world where we can do these things. You know, we've got everything to be healthy and happy and secure and everything. So, you know, let's not complain. I mean, it's okay to complain, but let's see these things as gifts rather than horrible things that are happening to us.
Yeah, I call them blessings in disguise.
Nice.
Sometimes, like, at first it seemed like such a punishment, but when you really look at it, there's so much good to take out of it. And at the end of the day, it is going to be how you see it. So if you see it as a punishment, that's exactly what it is, because you know that's your belief, and you're stuck in that, and then you can't see anything else. But when you see it as a gift, and you also treat it as one, then that's what it's going to be, and that's what you're going to focus on. And that's, you know, it's not to say that, you know, singlehood can't suck sometimes, and there's not a bad sides to it, because there is, like with everything in life. But when you choose to focus on seeing it as a gift, then the majority of the time, that's what it's going to feel like.
Yeah, there's so much power in your perception. And yeah, I think there's good and bad points to the single season. Like loneliness is a huge one. It's affected. We're all affected by it though, regardless of our marital or relationship status. But I think it's important for us to not focus on those things, but acknowledge them. And acknowledge, like, when we are feeling lonely, like, okay, I'm feeling lonely, but I'm not like completely alone. I still have a group of people that I can lean on, or I can trust in and confide in. So let me reach out to those people, or let me try a new hobby, and try to, you know, expand my imagination and get lost in a book, or, you know, something like that. But it's important to recognize it, not to focus on it. Because in the moment we recognize it, that's when we're like, okay, I can pivot and I can, you know, work my way around it. I acknowledge it, but I don't want to sit in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
just find the balance, that it's, you know, it's normal to feel that way, and you're also not, you know, making it abnormal, so suddenly it seems like a big darker thing than it is, you know, that it's not. It's normal to feel that way, and it's fine, and we'll, you know, let it happen and move on.
Yeah, well, what I also do yoga, and I do a particular brand of yoga called tantric yoga. I don't know if you, yes. And we say, the word we use for these emotions is like, you want to honor the emotion and not dwell in it. It's just, you know, it's there, and it's just, you know, and sometimes, and so with this type of thinking of like practicing yoga, they say there are no negative or positive emotions. They're just high and low vibrations, and it's just, you know, what's high and low vibrations are not there to make you feel bad. They're just sending you information of just, right now you're feeling lonely, you're feeling scared, you're feeling anxious. Like, this is just all information. And so acknowledging it, honoring it. And so how do I get out of it? How do I go back up? Of just, you know, it's there, and I'm not running away from it. I'm just, if I'm feeling anxious, I want to do something that calms me down. If I'm feeling afraid, I want to get myself out of this situation. If I'm feeling tired, I want to sleep. And it's just, it's there. And so, you know, that's what I'm going to be dealing with right now.
Yeah. Yep. Your emotions tell you things. I think it's so important to recognize that. They give us information. We're supposed to figure out what that information is and then move accordingly.
Yeah. Emotions and feelings are very different, and I agree. Emotions are just, it's information.
Yeah. And when we know ourselves, and when we work on it and develop our self-relationship, we know ourselves better. And so we know how to react to certain feelings. We know what certain feelings or emotions mean. We know how to cope. It's like, you know how when you know, like, think about your best friend, you know her very well, you know her, you know, ups and downs, her mood swings, whatever. So when she behaves in a certain way or says something, you know how instinctively, because you know her, know how to respond and to react accordingly. So it's supposed to work the same way with yourself as well, when you know yourself so well.
And that reminds me of some of my friends, that they would say these things to me, and I'm like, that's just so not the right thing to say. and it shows that you haven't listened to me, and it's not coming from anywhere hateful. It's just like, wow, you're such a bad listener type of thing. And I think, and like these friends, I can tell they're still on a journey of like self-discovery. Some of them are in bad relationships, and one of them I mention a lot on our podcast. She doesn't understand English, so she's never going to hear it, and it's just her relationship and the way she communicates are so just unclear. And I think that if she did spend that time working on herself, that would make her a better listener and more in tune with these things, which is what you were saying, Michelle, like, you know, your best friend, you do these things, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, if you're really in tune with yourself, and you can get better in tune with others. And yeah, I mean, it's just so worth it. It's just so worth it. I told my boyfriend that he should see a therapist, lovingly, but you know, that he should see a therapist because he's got stuff to work through, and because I believe so deeply in working on yourself. But I didn't tell him that you go through some shit before it gets better. Oh, yeah. So I'm just going to mention it here. Just before you do the self-work, expect some shit coming at you before it gets better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's when all the trauma comes up, right? Childhood trauma, past relationships trauma. You got to work through that. You really have to work through it, because then you'll recognize your triggers.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it also means you're improving. I've said this also before. And I don't think there's a good saying in English, but in Hebrew we have a saying which I don't know how to say this the best way possible, but the best way I can say it is like, if it's difficult, it means you're going uphill. So like in the sense of like, you know, you're making progress. You know, the difficulty doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It means that you're doing something right, because you're going uphill and you're reaching that peak. So I feel like that's part of, you know, yes, it sucks that it's hard, but it also means that we're doing good work on ourselves, you know, a bit like when our muscles get stiff after a very good workout.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
being single is a very good workout, basically.
Yes, it is. Oh my God, it's the best workout, especially if you do it right.
It is a good workout.
I think that's a good, like, nice way to end the podcast. Megan, do you have any kind of nuggets of wisdom you want to share before we close, and then just plug your Instagram and everything?
Nuggets of wisdom. I don't have any nuggets of wisdom at the top of my head. I mean, I think the one thing that I want people to understand is that singleness, it is beautiful, and you do have to work on yourself. But it will, if you want a partner, a life partner, and you do the work, you'll get a life partner. Absolutely. But yeah, I don't know if I have any other nuggets of wisdom. I wish I could have probably been more eloquent with saying that.
No, I think that was beautiful.
It's like when you go to a job interview and they ask you if you have any questions for them, and you're like, I will. The moment I walk out, I don't have a lot of questions,
but I'll have some later. I was like, I guess that's what I can just say at the top of my head. But yeah.
No, amazing.
Oh, yeah. I had so much fun.
Anyway, go follow Megan, because she has a lot to say on her Instagram, and
thank you.
She publishes the best articles, and I think you should all go and check it out, because there's a lot of pearls of wisdom over there.
Thank you. I was gonna say that's where all the wisdom. It's out of my head, and it's almost it's in the it's in the internet. So go check it out there.
Amazing. So follow Single Girl Club on Instagram, and also Pop Culture Cupid on all the social media platforms, and Spotify.
Come join us. We need more people in the house.
Yeah, we do. Our pleasure. Bye, everyone.
Bye.